What's up guys, welcome to Blake's Garage. So we're going to be installing the extended wheel stud kit from ARP. That's the part number right here. These are the tools that you're going to need to install this stuff. You're going to need a breaker bar with the appropriate socket to take your wheels off. The stock socket is a 19 millimeters, so you'll need that. I also have a 17 millimeter because that's the new size of my lug nuts. Then you're going to need a 17 millimeter wrench, a 14 millimeter wrench, a BFH stack of washers. You can also use a socket or something like that that's gonna space it out. Then you're gonna need the appropriate bolt. So you can use an old lug nut, but you're gonna have to have enough thread that you can get onto it with enough space here. So this is a M12 and the thread pitch is 1.25. So that's the factory pitch on that. Obviously you're gonna need the extended studs. You can also do this with any regular studs as well. ARP makes, I think they make the shorter version of these also. And then a torque wrench to torque everything down once you're done. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and take off the wheels. So I'm grabbing my 17 millimeter socket and I'm gonna go ahead and bust these loose with the breaker bar. This item is not necessary, but I like to use this. It's just a DeWalt impact driver. I pretty much use it on everything. Not a bad idea if you have painted lug nuts to go ahead and grab a microfiber towel to put those on as well. That way they don't get all dinged up. Ta-da! Also guys, another thing I really like to use is this kind of like little foam pad. I got it at Home Depot, I think. I'll put an Amazon link below too. I'll try to find one. But it's just like for gardening and it's nice and foam. Put your knees on it. So now that we have the wheel off, we need to go ahead and get the rotor off. But we can't do that until we take off these two bolts behind the brake caliper right here. All right, let's go ahead and get that one loosened up. So this is the bottom bolt. So I'm just taking that off real quick. All right, so there's the top bolt right there. So we'll go ahead and loosen that one up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull this whole assembly off. We yank that off, boom. Just set the brake caliper right on top of the A-arm right there. All right, so we're gonna now take the rotor off. Sometimes you might have to insert a bolt right here to break this loose. However, I don't have any issues with mine since I live in California. If you're in another state, that might be a different story. Now make sure that the rotor is not hot because you can burn the hell out of your hands if you've just driven recently. Now mine aren't because I've had the car sitting for a while, so we can just go ahead and pull the rotor right off. Go ahead and just grab that nut that you purchased. Or, you know, if you have an old lug nut, you can use that too. You're gonna wanna then pick up your BFH. Whatever the biggest BFH that you have, it's just gonna help. This is a ball peen hammer and it's pretty heavy. So, I went ahead and put that on just flat. We're gonna do that. That way we're not hitting any of the threads when we go ahead and whack this out of here. You're also gonna wanna line this part up with this part here. That way you're kind of just pushing them out in this direction. Hammer time. Oh yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. There we go. Notice after this, you can see this little dilemma we have here. So there's one of two things you can do here. You can either bend this with your BFH, which is probably what I'm gonna do because I feel like that's the easiest thing to do. It shouldn't deflect any of this metal around it too much because this is actually kind of pinched down. So it's gonna hold the integrity of the other stuff pretty well. Also, what you could do is you could cut this if you wanted to. Take some tin snips, cut, bend it, or you could Dremel this out as well. You could just kind of grind this down. But this is what I'm gonna do. Bang, bang, bang. Now the stud comes out perfectly fine, and you are going to have 20 extra studs for all your friends. Or just tell them to upgrade to ARPs, that way they don't break anymore. You go ahead and get the first one out, then you're gonna wanna take the car out of gear and also remove the e-brake. Make sure that the car is like chalked up, that way it's not gonna roll somewhere, you know, start rolling down a hill or that you're on a flat surface. You wanna be safe, obviously, when you do that. Then we're gonna rotate the hub, because right now, because we're in gear, our hub can't really rotate. And then we'll get back to it with the BFH and rotate and hit and rotate and hit and rotate and hit and rotate and hit, and we'll be kind of halfway done. Now we'll go ahead and put this on, and I'm just gonna take each one off right now just because. Drive it on home. Bam, there it goes. All right guys, so now you can see that the hub assembly is kind of clear of everything. Oh yeah, here are the goodies. I'm stoked on these. So we're gonna go ahead and put these on real quick. Rip these open. Oh yeah. Came with 5, so that's good. You can see that back piece, I just kind of bent it like that much for now. You can see I need to bend it just a tad more. So I'm just gonna take my hammer one more time. Bang, bang. Gonna rotate the hub to where I think it will have the most clearance. And then, boom, it is on there. It's about $6 for, I bought 2 of these bolts just in case it stripped out or went bad. And then I got some of these washers as well. That way I can just make a nice big flat stack. Go ahead and screw this on. I'm trying to keep it the same way, that way the one side just gets marred up. And we'll go ahead and thread that on. So actually, this bolt got kind of jacked from whacking on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a nice fresh one. That's why I bought 2. Back with the freshie. These were like about $1.20 a piece at my local hardware store. So I just bought those. Oh yeah, that one slides on there a lot better. So I might recommend, you know, getting a couple of those. Just go ahead and get this bolt looking good, looking like it's all lined up. Then we can go ahead and take our 19mm socket. You're gonna wanna use a deep socket for this. And I'm just putting it on my impact driver. You can actually just use whatever you want, because all you're gonna do is just be over torquing this thing until you drive this all the way in. Looking at it right here, making sure that it is fully seated into its bore. Go to the next one. We'll do this 5 times. Okay, so we got our stack, and now we're gonna go ahead and drive it home. Boom. We're gonna pull out the last one. Here we go. Now this process has gone pretty quick. Obviously it's taking a little bit longer since I'm showing you guys how to do it and talking, but I think you should be able to get this like about 20 minutes aside, I'm thinking. So maybe 40-45 minutes, you should be able to do this whole installation on the front. Now the rears are probably gonna be a different story. We may have to use a press for them. I'm going to inspect those in a few days and kind of see what's going on. I would like to do the big brake kit first. So probably, let's try to do the big brake kit front install, and then we will go on to the rears. So besides having the longer lug nuts, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this is because the new rotor is going to have a spacer in between the hub and the actual rotor assembly itself, so like this. So that spacer on those new big brake kits, let's see, that is a 2.42mm spacer right there. That's gonna kick the actual rotor out quite a bit. This is the stock rotor, but we're gonna have those 2004 STI stock rotors, so that is going to kind of kick it out, and that's gonna take up a little bit of your threads. So that's why I would recommend probably doing this kit. Besides that, they're stronger and they look awesome, so that's a win-win. Go ahead and put everything back together. So first thing you wanna do, and don't forget to do this, is grab your rotor, put it on there. This is just a floating rotor, so you don't have to do anything with it. Then you can go ahead and grab the caliper assembly, and you're just gonna wanna slide it back onto the rotor. You may have to kind of wiggle this a bit. Let's see. Kind of just wiggle it until you get it on there. May take a second. All right. It's liking me. It's liking me. That's good. Okay, and then you can go ahead and take those bolts and put them back into their appropriate holes. Hand thread them on there. You may kind of have to jiggle this stuff around. Just jiggle it right on in there. Take that other bolt Jiggle that right on in the hole. Guys shouldn't have any problems with that. Take that 17mm wrench. Let's go ahead and tighten these up. So there they are, guys. They look nice. Hang out there a lot farther. And the quality of the steel on these is far superior to the stock ones. ARP makes some badass fasteners. Put on those wheels. Boom. And then we'll go ahead and just hand thread on the lug nuts and then get these things all torqued down. That is how they look with the DOS wheels on there and the ARP studs. They don't fully stick out because those lug nuts are pretty long and extended. That's how it all looks on the car. They look nice. And here's what it looks like without the extended lug nuts. So you can see you can barely see that there's not a whole lot of thread getting bit. Well, I mean, there's plenty of thread, but it's not as much as the extended lugs. So they obviously look a lot better and perform a whole lot better. Look at that meat. I'm hungry. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching my video. Go ahead and like the video down below if you haven't already, or hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. There's always more installation videos that I have going on. Can't do them all the time because funds don't allow for that, but I definitely do a bunch of them. So anyways, guys, I hope you liked that installation video. Oh yeah, so I have these new t-shirts for 10,000 subscribers. I got this one and a few others. This one says Blake's Garage, and then it says wrench on. So I made those, and then there are a few others. Like I said, there's like a snail one with like a bearded snail dude. Go ahead and check it out. And then there's like a Just Launch It t-shirt. Check that one out too. I think you guys will like them. It's blakesgarage.bigcartel.com. If you guys buy those, it's gonna help out the channel a bunch. So I don't know how long I'll have them up there for, since it's kind of gonna be like, we're almost at 10,000. So I was like, kind of gonna release that about right around 10,000. So yeah, guys, check it out. We'll talk to you soon. Later, guys, and wrench on. It's like way bigger than my head, right? Hell yeah. Pretty freaking sick.